For the longest time, I have really wanted to one day, hire out a movie theater, get a bunch of my friends and family and watch a movie for one of my birthdays, right?
Just watch a movie.
Yeah, watch a movie on the big screen. Something I've always wanted to watch on the big screen, but maybe never had the chance to do. And we've pretty much got one cinema here in Whangarei, the town we live in.
Not even pretty much. We do have one cinema.
Yeah, we have one cinema. But they privately hire out one of the screens for quite cheaply. So I was thinking, maybe this year's the year to do it. My birthday is a couple of months away. Maybe I decide on a movie, book a theater out, invite everyone to it. But the question is, what movie do I pick?
Yeah. In your mind, is this packed theater? Every single seat is full.
I don't know. Who do you think's going to show up for my birthday?
All depends on the movie.
Do I just do an open invite to all my Facebook friends? Message them all privately. Hey, mystery movie for my birthday.
I think you'd need to lead with a mystery movie.
Mystery movie?
Yeah.
But then what's the big mystery movie going to be? Because here are the thoughts that I had, right?
Mm-hmm.
A Godzilla movie.
Classic.
Of course, number one, right?
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to see some of the old school Godzilla movies on the big screen. Never had the chance to. Heck, we don't even get the Fathom events over here when they've been re-showing Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS recently.
Yeah. I'm so sad that we didn't.
I'm so
get to
jealous.
do it. But we could do, if that's what you decide on.
We could. I could decide to watch, the movie we just watched, Godzilla vs. Biollante, which we're going to talk about soon. Something like that on the big screen, right? Mm-hmm. Or something like Son of Godzilla, one of my favorites. Maybe the original 54 Godzilla.
So all these four options so far are Godzilla movies.
Okay, Godzilla movies is the first option, right? That's it.
Yeah, all around good choice.
Second option is a movie that I personally really like. And that could be a few movies.
Hawk the Slayer?
Hawk the Slayer was an option, guys. Now, this is a movie me and Michael watched as part of a mystery showing quite a while ago in a theater.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it. We did not know what we were going in for, and it's a real 80s high fantasy, just really crazy, quirky, weird movie.
Gumming it up. We only knew the maturity ratings for this film, and they stuffed it up, so we thought this was an R18 flick. But it was just a classic fantasy romp.
Yeah, it was. Killer soundtrack, not so killer acting, but it adds to the charm. Yeah, the whistling the whole way through. No, that's a great movie, and I like the movie. Would other people like it? That's the question. So I could choose a Godzilla movie. I could choose a personal favorite. There are a few others I've been thinking about. But then I could just go for a third option, right? A crowd pleaser. Something that everyone will come for a mystery movie. Everyone will have a really good time.
Yeah.
What's a crowd pleaser? That's what I'm trying to decide on. Do I just do... What's a movie that everyone will enjoy?
What is it? Ape versus lizard?
No. I'm talking about a good
actual...
a good comedy or something, right? Like Chuck, Nacho Libre, Napoleon Dynamite up on the big screen, Princess Bride. You know,
even those ones are a little polarizing. I think you have to go even more generically enjoyed.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's probably
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The new Fast and Furious.
Now that's an idea.
What do I go with? What do I do?
I think you need to pick a film that is real personal to Jaysha. Okay. Not even one of your favorites, but one of the ones that has made you who you are today. You gotta search deep down inside, and what do you pull out?
Well, I'll be pulling out some really slow, dramatic romance film, something from the Before trilogy. Am I showing Before Sunset?
You're showing the entire Before trilogy.
Wait, are we doing the entire Before trilogy in theaters?
That would be a very fun theater go.
Everyone would hate it. I don't know what I'm going to do, so I was just going to put it out there. Listeners, help me. What's a good crowd-pleasing movie? What should I do? Should I just pick a Godzilla movie? I feel like that's what people will be expecting if they get a message from me saying, hey, come along to a mystery birthday movie.
Yeah. Either way, send out some options. We'll listen to them. Make your way to Whangarei. Jaysha literally just said it'll be an open invite.
Yeah.
So you can come along, fill those seats.
Yeah. Come to my birthday mystery screening, guys. Is this the first
Podzilla meetup? Maybe not even watch a Godzilla movie. Ladies and gentlezillas, welcome back to Podzilla, the podcast where we watch through every single Godzilla movie in order of release. My name is Micah,
My name is Jasha.
and we are your loving co-hosts today.
Loving co-hosts. Yeah.
We're the co-hosts that if we ended up dying someday, we'd hope that you would take our souls, inject them into some plant matter, fuse them with some Godzilla DNA,
Bring us back.
bring us back.
Oh, man. That's a beautiful analogy. That's beautiful. Yeah, welcome back to the show, guys. I am very excited for today's episode, Godzilla versus Biollante. And before we get into it, we've got a news segment now, right? Before we get into all that,
We've got a new
before we get into that, I just remember on Godzilla versus Biollante, me and you have seen this one before.
Mhm.
This is one of the movies we watched way back in the day at our grandparents' house on an old school TV growing up.
Yes.
And you said last episode that you remember us loving it. I remember personally being very, very disappointed by this movie.
Really?
I remember it just finding all the weird ESP, psychic, spiritual stuff almost in it, just very strange. And I remember completely turning off to it when I was younger.
I will say I only remembered one scene from this movie, and it was when the professor and his the lady scientist that was with him, I don't know if she was a scientist, were walking across their little road street to their greenhouse.
Mm.
I only remember them walking across and nothing else.
But you remember loving that. That was a really great
That was
walk.
riveting. Riveting.
But yeah, all that to say, I was excited to finally check this out 10 plus years later. Way more than that, probably. But yeah, it's going to be good.
A long time coming.
It's been a long time. But yeah, let's get news out of the
Before
way.
we do that, mega news, lawn people. It's back, baby. We've got some spicy stuff from the past few weeks. Jasha,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of trailers and teasers.
How? In 2 weeks?
I don't know.
No, nothing Godzilla related, right? This is going to be Gamera and Evangelion.
most of it's not Godzilla.
Is Evangelion how you say it? Or is it Evangelion? Galleon? This is another Ghidorah situation,
Yeah.
and I'm scared.
I'd hate to call it Galleon. That doesn't sound right.
Let's just not say that word ever again. Okay, what's the news?
We've had a lot of Toho adjacent trailers come out. We have had one for Shin Masked Rider. This is the Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider, yeah.
Part of that Godzilla Shin world that Toho's dreaming up.
Yeah, because if you guys have missed this, there is a Shin Japan Heroes Universe, I think it's called, and that contains Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, and then the
Go on.
the Neon Genesis series. So this is something that they've been heavily promoting everywhere. I think there's a couple of parks in Japan that are themed around these 4 heroes. And me and Micah a while back watched a live stream on Godzilla Battle Line, the mobile game.
Oh, good times.
And we live streamed that in our Discord, so you should jump into the Discord if you want to watch things like that. But they were heavily, just shouting out the Shin Japan Heroes universe. There's crossovers galore in video games and marketing and collectibles and everything. So
It's a big thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they did have some cinematic crossover soon.
yeah,
But we've got a trailer for the new Kamen Rider series show, movie. I'm not too sure what it is. Movie. Alongside that, we've had the tease for a new Ultraman series,
really.
with the news coming out April 21st. This is codename Ultraman for the
Wow.
moment. People are hoping that it's a more mature-driven show, such as Ultraman Nexus, but we'll see come that date.
Yeah. Ultraman Nexus.
Alongside that, we have also had a tease for the Ultraman Season 3 for Netflix.
Wow.
The final Ultraman season. I didn't even realize there was a Netflix Ultraman show.
Yeah, I didn't know there were 3 seasons of it. That's crazy.
It's supposed to be really, really good, and the posters look insane.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to get into some of this Godzilla adjacent stuff because spoilers, guys. Spoilers. Godzilla is only finite, you know? We are only going to be able to cover so many movies in Godzilla films by release day, you know?
Godzilla can't last forever.
Or can
Or
it? Or can it?
We'll see. But here's a little poster for the Ultraman Season 3.
Well, that looks awesome.
It looks so
A whole
sick.
team of Ultramen.
Yeah.
Everyone, we are planning to potentially cover the Shin Japan Heroes Universe adjacent stuff in the near future. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
You didn't hear it from me.
Alongside that, just today, the trailer for Gamera Rebirth came out. This looks so good as well. It's an animated 6-episode Netflix show.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Gamera versus 5 different kaiju. Fantastic.
I can't wait till we care more about this stuff. 'Cause it looks awesome and I know it's right up our alley.
All the kaiju are appearing on screen and I'm like, these look awesome. I have no clue who they are. But they look sick.
Because neither of us have watched any Gamera stuff. Neither of us.
Ultraman.
I've watched a few episodes of Ultra Q, but not much. Yeah, but pretty much no Ultraman, no Gamera, no Neon Genesis. I didn't even know Kamen Rider was a thing until about a year or so ago. So we've got this whole world
It's a broader world.
Yeah, this bigger world.
Jaysha, this is your favorite piece of news. The trailer for Ape versus Mecha Ape.
No way.
Look,
Why is this in our news segment?
this is a direct spin-off. This is a rip-off of Kong versus Mechanicon.
Well, this is an Asylum movie. And Asylum is a company who is known for seeing big popular blockbusters come out and then making bad rip-off versions.
They did Ape versus Lizard, I believe it was called. A direct rip-off of Godzilla versus Kong.
And then Pacific Rim came out and they made Atlantic Rim.
Oh. It looks what you'd expect it to look like. But probably my favorite piece of news here as well, just announced, was Godzilla Here There Be Dragons. This is a comic series, graphic novel coming out this summer, so this will be winter for us. So in like a few months. But it is Godzilla set in the pirate age.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This excites me to no end.
That looks super cool.
There's art for it and it shows like Ebirah and Manda as like those legendary creatures in like the corners of the maps. Like,
that's awesome.
There be dragons.
That is cool. I gotta say, I've started dipping my toes into some of the Godzilla graphic novels recently, and I'm addicted. I've got one that I ordered in for the library to buy, and they just received it, so I'm gonna go pick it up tomorrow.
That's great. Oof. They've had some really cool ideas with their comics that they've been doing. But Jaysha, that's the news. Back to your regularly scheduled Podzilla.
What fun.
What a gem. What a pearl. It's Mega News Live.
I liked the cut of that jib. I think that's a proper saying, by the way.
It is. That's why I said it.
And I said jib was wood, and jib is like
plaster,
board type material. And our friend Hamish, who is a builder, just tore into us about it. I was in the wrong.
You won't cut into my jib about it anymore?
I won't question your idioms any longer.
Alright, well let's get into today's proper episode.
Yeah, well I'll hit back to you then. Do you want to take us into Godzilla vs. Biollante 1989?
Following Godzilla's Tokyo rampage in 1984 and subsequent imprisonment in Mount Mihara, scattered chunks of Godzilla cells are gathered from the ruined city. While several nations fight for ownership of these cells, a genetics laboratory hopes to modify plant cells with those found from Godzilla to turn deserts across the Middle East into fertile land. Dr. Shiragami and his daughter Erika are forefronts of the project, but their plans are cut short when the laboratory is blown up in a terrorist bombing, destroying the Godzilla cells and killing Erika in the process. 5 years later, signs of Godzilla's reappearance begin to emerge, with children across the country starting to see visions of his return alongside tremors from Mount Mihara. Scientist Kirishima and Lieutenant Gondo aim to use some leftover Godzilla cells to create anti-nuclear energy bacteria to use against Godzilla should he return. The two recruit Dr. Shiragami onto the project, who secretly fuses some of the Godzilla cells with those of the roses surrounding his daughter's body from when she died. And thus, Biollante is created, a giant plant creature with the soul of his daughter Erica and the genetic makeup of Godzilla himself. Foreign biomajor agents, seeing the power of the Godzilla cells, rig Mount Mihara with explosives and threaten to blow it up and release Godzilla if his cells are not handed over to them. Due to the intervention of a strange foreign assassin, the explosives are detonated and Godzilla is released upon Japan once more. The government sends out the new Super X2 to deal with him, but Godzilla easily puts it out of action and makes his way to face off against Biollante, who seems to be calling out to him. After a battle leaving Godzilla weakened, Biollante vanishes into spores and evaporates into the clouds. Godzilla then starts to make his way towards a power plant in Sugara, but thanks to the psychic Miki, is redirected to the more heavily guarded power plant in Osaka instead. The city is evacuated, and Godzilla is hit by rockets infused with the experimental anti-nuclear bacteria, though due to his low body temperature, the bacteria is rendered useless and leaves Lieutenant Goro dead. In a last-ditch attempt to heat up his body, the Japan Self-Defense Force creates an artificial thunderstorm, barraging Godzilla with lightning and heating up his body temperature. This has little effect on Godzilla, though returning from the clouds in a golden rain, Biollante makes her return, changing from a rose-like form to one of pure terror, towering over Godzilla in a mass of tentacles and teeth. After a long battle where Godzilla is bound by the tentacles, covered in acidic vomit, and even has a hole punctured right through his hand, he is left with his head in Biollante's jaws, only barely making his escape by using his atomic breath and decimating her head and mouth. Starting to feel the effects of the bacteria, Godzilla escapes to the sea, while Biollante splits apart into glowing spores that float into the sky and form the image of Erica, culminating into a giant rose floating in the middle of space. Dr. Shirogami is suddenly shot by the foreign assassin, who is struck by one of the lightning plates by Kuroki, the commander of the Super X2. Slowly recovering from the bacteria by the cool water, Godzilla returns to the ocean once more, to be seen, potentially, in a later film.
Ooh, what a recap.
It's dense, eh? This movie's got a lot to it.
Now, are you sure it said nuclear?
It's nuclear.
Is it not nuclear?
It's a nice throwback to a year ago, Jason.
I think nuclear bomb sounds better than nuclear.
Nuclear bomb.
Nuclear is literally a cleaning solution or something.
You're probably right.
You need shiny windows. Use nuclear.
Nuclear is a common prescribed pronunciation of the
Hey.
prescribed.
It's prescribed. You can take it.
I don't know what that means. What's a prescribed mean? I don't know, Jasha. It's not right. I will not stand for this.
Right.
But somebody who is educated and can read, who says nuclear, is just being lazy.
Is this Urban Dictionary? What is
This
this?
is the Marquette University Law School.
They say they're
So you're
calling
just
people
being
out.
lazy, Jasha.
The University Law School's calling me out. Oh, whatever. Okay. First off, I really, really love that the Heisei era is so connected. We got glimpses of it with a few of the movies in the Showa era, but this movie starts off with a couple seconds from the last movie. You see a bit of a recap. Godzilla's right where we left him. He's in a volcano. The movie takes place just as the last movie ends. Pieces of his skin from the last battle with him versus the Super X are all over the city. The city's destroyed. It's awesome. It's really cool, and it's exciting to know that that's going to continue for the next 5 films after this.
Yeah, the continuity between these movies is so exciting.
Yeah.
After the last Showa movies, where every single one just felt like they really had no chronological order for the most part. So it's super exciting sitting down and being like, oh, we just watched this movie and it has effects that go into this one.
Yeah. So that was really cool, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. Because now, by the end of this movie, there's a rose floating in space. I'm excited.
And that's not a throwaway little plot point.
Yeah, I also love how this came out in 1989, right?
89. So this is 6 years after the return of Godzilla.
4 years. 5 years? 5 years.
Because that came out 84.
Yeah.
When did this come out?
89.
Oh, yeah, my maths is bad, sorry.
It is
No,
5.
you're good,
Okay,
you're
yeah, there we go. Yes, this came out 5 years after that. But the last movie we covered on Podzilla was actually Godzilla 1985, right? The Americanization of the Return of Godzilla, where Americans took the movie, cut it up, inserted themselves in as heroes, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I really loved how in this movie, almost straight away, they just make Americans the bad guys. From the start of this movie,
Yeah.
Americans are bombing research centers in Japan. They're running around stealing G cells illegally from the Japanese.
Yeah, while the Defense Force is collecting those cells, they've suited them up in the army attire and is like infiltrating their little quarantine zone. It's fantastic, and it's so action-packed right off the start.
Yeah, but it's just like Toho saw what America did with their movie and they're like, we're not having any of that. We're not having any of that. You guys can't rewrite history.
They saw those box office sales and...
Yeah, but that first scene with the Americans stealing G cells from the Japanese and then our mystery kind of like assassin dude stealing it from the Americans. It's so great. It's such a great scene that I didn't expect. And like the bass is slapping behind it. There's a real rock theme of the original Godzilla music. It's so great.
It's so great.
No Godzilla movies felt like this before.
No, and I just love how it makes sense. Like, it goes into real intricate aspects of this world where if Godzilla did die, of course there'd be people from surrounding countries wanting to take some of his cells.
Yeah.
Like, there would be international espionage up the wazoo. And we get some great characters out of it. Like, those few American soldiers are pretty funny, I found. But then we see this assassin who plays quite a prominent part in this movie.
Yeah.
And he reminds me a lot in the first Godzilla movie. We had Dr. Serizawa with his eye patch.
Yeah.
This dude, he's got his black sunglasses. He's got his coat on. He's got his AK rifle right next to him.
Everyone who speaks English in this movie, because there's a bit of it, is terrible though. Like, it's cool to include people from, like, all over the globe, a whole lot of, like, international players in this movie, right? But anyone who speaks English, I thought they were speaking another language. I was waiting for subtitles to pop up. But I was like, wait, they're speaking English?
No, there is... So the movie opens with an American news reporter.
Yeah.
In the Discord, a lot of people turned this off at that part because they thought they'd found the English dub.
Yeah.
After that, yeah, everybody's trash. The assassin ends up killing those Americans, walks over to them, and he says, like, curse you Americans.
Yeah.
But I thought he said, like, kiss you Americans.
Me too. And there's later...
Kiss you Americans.
Later on in the movie, there's a couple of Americans that are driving around this truck. They're the people holding Godzilla hostage and threatening to
I
let
think
him loose.
they're the biomajor agents.
Yeah, the agents. But, like, one of them just, like, says at this real dramatic moment, he's like, son of a bitch! And he's, like, trying to swear, but it's like, all right.
You're not... Close.
I couldn't help but crack up at it.
I guess probably one of the best places to get a start on the plot with this is we have our Dr. Shiragami.
Yes.
Who's kind of a really important aspect of this film. He's the father who, his daughter, Erica, gets killed off very, very early.
Yeah, and I knew, because again, we've seen this before, I knew she was going to die. I knew that this had such a wacky plot where someone's trying to bring back their daughter and fuse her with a plant and Godzilla. But I didn't expect, I was actually quite surprised with how quickly she died and how actually, like, heartfelt her death was.
And it's sad because so this is Yasuko Sawaguchi.
Yeah, she was the main character in Return of Godzilla too, eh?
Yeah, she played Naoko in that movie, and she seemed like she upped her acting quality by quite a lot in the past 5 years, and I was really excited to see her again. And then she's just killed outright, which is a bit sad.
Yeah, but you're right. I really love this scientist character. He loses his daughter, and it's very it almost feels like a callback to Terror of Mechagodzilla. If you remember, we have like the mad scientist who loses his daughter, and then she's remade by aliens into a robot, and he's pretty much doing anything to keep her alive.
Yeah.
It was like a very dark like personal movie about a father just trying to bring back the only thing he's cared about, and he steps away from his research, steps away from society almost, and he kind of like it seems like he's living as a hermit, just tending after these roses that Erica, his daughter, died on, and he's calling in psychics to come and see if they can talk to the roses, and doing anything he can to just keep Erica alive in his heart or bring her back to real life.
Yeah, and so there are two other big characters in this movie. We have Miki. She's like the ESP.
Yeah.
Very tuned into that world. And then we have Asuka Okouchi, played by Yoshika Tanaka. She's like the other leading lady in this movie.
Yeah.
Those two are very prominent in that part of him searching for his daughter's soul in the rose. And I don't know how this is a thing. It's a very weird route to go.
You're
from
almost
like your second Heisei movie.
Yeah, and it almost plays off like you're just meant to like believe in it yourself as a viewer. Like everyone genuinely in the movie accepts, oh yeah, ESP is a thing. This girl's psychic. Let's use her any way we can to help us win. Everyone doesn't really bat an eyelid when the doctor's like, oh, my daughter's in the plot. That's my daughter. Yeah. Everyone's just like, whoa, flip, all right.
I think there's a one offhand comment by the Prime Minister that he's not going to send out his whole defense force because of one girl.
Yeah.
But then everybody else is totally fine. Shortly after we get that scene where those two women bring us back to the classroom full of all these kids who are kind of tuned into ESP as well.
Such a great scene.
She's like, hey kids, have you all finished your work? And they're like, yeah, we've all, yeah.
They've been writing down what they've been dreaming about, right?
Yeah. She's like, okay, everybody show what you've been drawing. And every single one of them shows up a real terrifying picture of Godzilla.
And the theme kicks in.
And they're all like, yeah, Godzilla!
Does it get better?
That's. I think it might be my favorite scene in all of Godzilla so far.
In all of cinema history. Yeah, but back to like the ESP stuff. It's really funny. I couldn't help but laugh because like historically in horror movies, especially like big horror franchises, it gets to a point when they've done so much that there's like always a movie where they chuck in someone with like psychic abilities.
Yeah, it's like an inevitable movie trope, right?
Yeah, it happens in Friday the 13th. I'm pretty sure it happens in Nightmare on Elm Street. It definitely happens in the Halloween franchise. Mm-hmm. And I just laughed just realizing, hey, Godzilla did the exact same thing. But I feel like it feels a bit more at home here, which is weird.
Yeah, you get used to it very, very quickly.
But I guess it's because with the franchise as a whole, you've already had aliens, you've already had robots.
We've had the Shobijin as big parts.
Exactly.
We've had, what was his name? What's the big monkey king lord? Spirit Monkey King.
King Kong?
From Terror of Mickey. No.
King Caesar.
King Caesar. I've got... Yeah. There are so many kaiju up in this brain, man.
You got the Seatopians, like lost cities. We've had so much, so it feels like it fits, and it feels like it's the right tone for this franchise to go in. And it seems weird because it's such an out there story, but it almost feels more grounded than other stories, just because that aspect manages to connect us to the characters more than a lot of the other movies have done.
Yeah,
the stakes are all very personal.
Yeah, and especially with the whole plotline of they end up fusing those plant cells and the daughter's ESP with those Godzilla cells to create the main kaiju of the movie. It's a very clear link from Godzilla to Biollante to all of these characters.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, it's really interesting as well how in this Heisei timeline, which we're in, the only kaiju so far have been Godzilla and Shockirus, the sea louse.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
And straight after that, it's not like a creature from space or anything. It's another man-made creature.
Yeah, you're right.
It feels with the soul of a dead girl in, but man-made, which is real interesting.
Yeah, and it's cool that it keeps the spirit of Godzilla, and we talked about it a bit with Return of Godzilla. But again, this goes back to Godzilla's roots. You know, it's telling a story about a very real threat, which is genetic engineering. Something that was happening more and more in the 80s and 90s around the time this movie came out. So this almost plays off as a huge warning against the dangers of that, right? Just like nuclear threats, you know?
Nuclear.
Just like nuclear threats. It's just another man-made like weapon. And the movie even goes so far to say at the very end, Godzilla's not a monster, Biollante is not a monster. We're the monsters, the men who made who made the weapons that turned into these monsters.
Yeah, the reporters at some point in the movie talk to Dr. Shirogami, and even he says himself, like, you don't know what you're doing talking to us. We're trying to break the bounds of science. We're trying to push forward and break those boundaries that have held us before. And this movie, it goes to show, like, what the effects of going too far and playing God yourself ends up doing.
Yeah.
Trying to resurrect a girl. Like,
Yeah. So it was crazy. Such a crazy movie, but it feels right at home in the series.
yeah.
And I really loved it for that. It felt right at home, but managed to burst just new energy and new life into the franchise.
Literally
Burst into it with, what did you say, golden rain? Isn't that like
I don't know
when you pee?
No.
Isn't that called
I
golden
didn't
rain?
say golden rain.
I'm pretty sure he said golden rain.
I'm mad at you now. I've never said golden rain.
Something else that kind of blew my mind was just the fact, just like you're saying, Biollante is literally just a plant Godzilla.
Yeah, quite literally as well. Like, it has the genes of Godzilla. And what's that phrase they say in the movie? It's like Godzilla is the creature.
Oh, because they're talking about how it's like part of Godzilla's family.
Mm.
But then I think the scientist says, no, it's not just part of Godzilla's family. It is Godzilla, except Godzilla's an animal. Biollante is a plant. They're the same creature, but just like...
different forms.
Yeah.
Which is a real cool thing to think about.
And that's another thing I didn't realize. Like, with the Heisei Era, you've got Biollante, which is pretty much plant Godzilla. Later down the track, we have Mechagodzilla. Later down the track, we have Space Godzilla. Like, half of the Heisei villains are just Godzillas.
It feels like, you know, Marvel and, like, the Captain America with the soldier serum. And how every villain nowadays is formed because of some variation of that.
You got, like, the Venom movie, and I can't even remember who the bad guy is, but it was just, like, another type of Venom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Godzilla did it too, darn it.
Godzilla taken over by Venom. Mark that on the to-do list, Toho.
Oh, symbiote Godzilla? Have we seen it yet?
Yeah. And throughout this movie as well, there's this great motif, I want to say. As it kicks off, we see that there's a new governmental alert system in place.
Oh, yeah.
Heralding the coming of Godzilla.
Yeah.
It's got like 4 levels, I think. And it's like, level 1, there is confirmed evidence. They have a list of like physiological evidence, like very, very supposed sightings of Godzilla that kind of mark his return.
Yeah.
Then it gets escalated to auditory evidence or
Physical evidence.
And then 3 sightings of Godzilla for absolute certainty he's definitely going to come and wreck some part of Japan.
Yeah, these are the G alerts. And I loved
G
it
alerts.
because we're quickly introduced to them at the very start of the movie, but they act as kind of like chapter markers. Well, you know how a lot of movies have sequences. The movie's cut into chapters, and you see what that chapter's called. And it kind of changes up the part of the movie that you're watching.
Yeah.
I think Nope did this with...
did it with the horse
did
names.
it with the different horses, but a lot of movies do it. And this, I loved how they broke it up into chapters with the different G alerts. So we have the start of the movie where everything's relatively calm, and it's just because there's some like psychological evidence of Godzilla. The people with psychic powers think he's there.
Yeah.
But then that quickly, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and it goes through all the G alerts, and just the like energy of the movie slowly starts to crescendo until the end.
And again, it's another thing that makes sense in the universe. Like, of course, after Godzilla coming, you'd have a G alert system.
Yeah, right?
That's a definitive thing where the government can say, hey, at this stage, this is when we send in the military.
Yeah. It's great. They're very like... The government's come a long way as well. Like, they've already leveled up their Super X, Super X2.
The Super X2.
They've coated it with diamonds. It's got a fire shield. Was that what it was called?
The idea.
Mirror? Fire
the
mirror?
Fire mirror.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the fire mirror.
Yeah. So they can already, like, use Godzilla's breath weapon against him. They've got, like, heaps and heaps of people already ready to respond to the threat.
It's not not the Gotengo. What am I saying? The Super X2 is remote controlled now, so they don't have to worry about people. I'm actually annoyed. They said that the fire mirror reflected Godzilla's breath back at 10,000 times the power.
Mm.
It reflected it back at like 0.5 times the power.
It wasn't even doing anything to him.
I don't think it hurt him.
No. It was cool, though. The Super X2 can go underwater.
Oh, it submerged itself.
Did that once and didn't even fight him underwater. Just came back out. Well, great.
This is a definite improvement, Jason.
Yeah. But yeah, it feels like the whole world has come a long way since the return of Godzilla. Like, people are quicker to respond to evacuations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're really, really efficient. I loved, at one point we see that they've made a Godzilla Memorial Lounge. I think, like, two of our main characters, they refer to each other as Romeo and Juliet at one point. So I don't know their names. I'm just going to call them Romeo and Juliet.
So we have Juliet, that's Asuka.
Asuka. Okay. Thanks, Micah.
And then we have our little Romeo as well. Kazuhito Kirishima, played by Kunihiko Mitamura. And this is Kirishima.
Kirishima.
And he's like a scientist as well, who's going to move to America for his work.
Mm.
And there's a real romantic struggle between him and Juliet, because she doesn't really want to follow him there. It makes for a little bit of a compelling story.
Yeah. I loved how they were sitting in a Godzilla Memorial Lounge and there was like a big Godzilla footprint on the roof. Like, the world has come a long way and also made like specific memorials to the people that had fallen or the things that happened.
They've definitely started incorporating Godzilla into the culture.
Someone has a Godzilla action figure. Do you see that? Was it Goro?
This is Lieutenant Goro Gondo.
Goro Gondo.
That's a crazy name. But yeah, he's got this giant Godzilla figure and little photographs of all of the previous incidents on the wall.
Now, Mike, how does he own a Godzilla figure that looks exactly like the Godzilla from King Kong versus Godzilla?
Is that what it looked like?
Yeah, it's the exact suit.
We've established in the Showa era that there is Godzilla merchandise. So I think that is just a fictionalized version. They saw Godzilla, and then, look, if somebody saw Godzilla nowadays, if a kaiju came up, they'd make like books about it, and they'd change his design slightly.
What if, like, in this Heisei world,
they started making the Showa movies after that first attack?
Yeah, like, all the Showa movies are fictional or, like, have been written as comics or something, you know? Like, what if those stories exist? Because that's the only reason they'd have a complete one-for-one copy.
Jaysha, I think we might need to add this to my little timeline.
What timeline?
You remember back in my day, my theory?
What? Your Monster Island theory?
Yeah, how it's in the mind of little
Ichiro?
Little Ichiro. I think this could fit in quite nicely.
You think the Heisei era is in the mind of Ichiro?
No. Heisei era is the proper world.
Oh.
All the Showa era are movies in this world.
Okay. What about Ichiro?
I can't remember.
What about Monster Island?
Most of those movies are in Ichiro's mind, except for Kong vs. Godzilla.
So
that's the only real movie.
So wait, whoa. You're saying in the Heisei era, there's movies about Ichiro, and then all of the Showa era movies are in Ichiro's mind in the movies that are in the Heisei era, except for King Kong versus Godzilla?
Yes. That is exactly what I'm saying. I'll workshop it. I'll make a proper chart. A flow chart.
Great. Yeah, please do. Should we let's do something a bit different. Let's get into the monsters pretty early because we need to talk about Biollante.
Yeah.
We talk about some of Biollante's scenes, but there is two monsters in this. Godzilla first off.
Classic. He's got an improved suit.
Yeah, completely new suit. Looks so much better.
This is probably my favorite iteration of this suit so far.
No Cybot in sight. Feels so good.
No uncanny lip quivering in sight.
Oh, it's so good.
One thing I loved about this is in all those scenes where Godzilla roars, I think they do have like a mechanized,
like animatronic head or something.
Animatronic. They don't have Cybot.
Yeah.
They do have it, and whenever he roars, the inside of his mouth just looks so good.
Oh, you can see his tongue, and it's like
his
wet.
teeth and his tongue, and it just looks fantastic.
Yeah, his teeth look good in this.
Yeah, they look
Has
dangerous.
Godzilla's teeth ever looked as good?
I haven't been scared of Godzilla in movies, but I'm scared of him in this
Oh
one.
man, he's got good like dental hygiene. They're white as anything. It's all those sea lice picking stuff out of his teeth, probably.
That's what nuclear toothpaste does to you.
Nuclear toothpaste. One thing I wanted to say about Godzilla is he demonstrates a new weapon in this. We've never seen it before.
New weapon.
It is called the nuclear pulse.
Ooh.
And in the movie, Godzilla is surrounded by Biollante's vines, and he just lets out a pulse of nuclear energy. Nuclear energy. We just see it like...
pulse.
Kind of pulse detonate from him, and it destroys the tendrils that are holding on to him.
It's cool to see. I love how this far into the franchise, they're still updating his moveset.
Yeah, I mean, it's no Godzilla flying.
There's no Godzilla laser eyes.
No, but we'll see. We'll see where we get to. But yeah, the titular enemy of the piece, Biollante.
Biollante's great, Jasha. Love me some Biollante.
Giant plant Godzilla that has multiple forms.
Yeah, this is great. There haven't been too many other kaiju in the Godzilla series that have multiple forms, save for, I want to say, like Mothra,
Hedorah.
And Hedorah
Yeah.
will be the big other one.
Yeah.
I love it when they do this with characters. And Biollante starts off in the lab as like a small plant, goes through a few stages there, but as a proper kaiju, 2 major forms.
Yeah. First one is just this giant plant. Doesn't look all too menacing, with a giant rose as a head. And then slowly that rose like almost grows teeth on its bud.
Yep, and that's when it starts to get its vines and it gets it before that, but
Yeah. But this
the
like
rosebud with its vines and tentacles here.
yeah, and this rose stage is quite like sad because it's not really a monster yet, and it kind of just goes and stands out in the middle of the ocean and just cries. It's like wailing.
Yeah, it starts to sing, and it says call to Godzilla, but the characters are also like really talking about how it's the mourning soul of
Erica.
Erica.
Yeah, like Erica's spirit is there crying out.
Yeah.
So that was crazy.
Real beautiful, sad.
Yeah, but then Godzilla goes up against it and kind of destroys its form, and then we hear that Erica's spirit's there no longer, and it's kind of all monster at this point.
Yeah, and that's when it starts to grow its teeth and become more menacing.
Yeah, and its next form just looks like a crazy, messed up, nightmarish version of Audrey 2
great.
from Little
Yeah,
Shop
yeah,
of
yeah.
Horrors, with a huge Godzilla-like mouth and teeth.
It looks like a crocodile alligator head.
Yeah,
On just this huge plant mass.
this like big pulsing red like ball in its center.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was so surprised at how big it is in comparison to Godzilla.
Yeah, you see the scenes where Godzilla is looking up at it.
Yeah,
It's one of the first times I've ever felt like Godzilla almost doesn't stand a chance against the creature.
totally. Yeah,
Especially when it starts moving just over the hills at such a fast pace, flailing its tentacles in the air. Like, this thing is speedy. This thing is gigantic.
it's one of my favorite kaiju so far. It's so cool. And check out, you've already seen it, our podcast star, Dagora9898, did Biollante in the second form for it. Amazing.
Fantastic.
Oh my goodness, he did such a good job. And Biollante's the best.
Biollante great.
It all looks mostly practical, which is the crazy part as well.
Yeah.
All the teeth, all the tendrils, it's all physical and it looks real and it just looks so cool. I read that it took over 20 crew members to move around Biollante in the movie.
True.
So like 20 people had the job of just controlling Biollante through the film.
That'd be a fun job to have on set.
Just get real close with the Biollante crew and you just...
The Biollante crew. It's great as well because we watched the behind the scenes for the DVD version of this. And it shows some of the sculpts they made, some of like the figurines they made for potential iterations of Biollante. So there's just this this whole huge number of different Biollante forms.
Yeah.
I wish they marketed these all as proper figures now, because I would swipe up the whole Biollante lot so quickly.
Well, you're going to add Biollante to your list of kaiju collectibles you're getting?
I might. I would love to get one of the first row stage,
Yeah.
but one of the second one as well. It'll take up half of my room, but it would be worth it.
I also saw online that the suit, the Biollante suit, after they were finished with it, it didn't go missing like a lot of the others have done.
Was it set on fire?
No, it wasn't set on fire. This is a bit different for Godzilla suits, but it was placed into storage, and it ended up becoming home to multiple stray cats.
No way!
That took up residence in the Toho lot. So, going forward, through the making of all the next Heisei Era movies, while they were filming them all, they had stray cats just living in the Biollante suit.
It's the best piece of trivia. I love that.
That's awesome. I want an action figure of, like, a decomposed Biollante suit with just stray cats inside it.
If I ever take up clay sculpting classes, I know what I'll make you.
But all the scenes with Biollante are so great. Like early on in the movie, where there are Americans trying to get in and steal the G cells from the scientist's lab, we just see these tendrils come out of nowhere, wrap themselves around these thieves. And it's straight up horror once again. I'm loving how we're getting these little flashes of horror throughout these Heisei Era movies.
It felt like Sam Raimi Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Mixed with like the raptor scene in Jurassic Park almost.
Yeah, and like the Thing with just all the flailing like practical effects. It was great. And I just love throughout the whole film the amount of gross like green gore we just constantly have. Acid's flying everywhere. Green blood is flying everywhere. Godzilla's covered in it.
Yeah.
Tendrils are just getting cut off and just fluid spraying everywhere. Godzilla gets pierced through his hand.
This is crazy.
And through his shoulder?
It's weird to see Godzilla getting... I think there's only been one other movie versus Gigan where he's been like really physically damaged.
Yeah.
So him getting his hand pierced through was just shocking to me.
It's crazy, but I love it. It just adds such a brutality to the fight scenes.
Yeah, it really sets the tone for the Heisei Era. It just shows that like this is a bit more mature than your average Godzilla.
Yeah. Even just the imagery of all of Biolante's tendrils, each with their own mouths full of teeth, just latching onto him.
Like Venus flytraps.
Yeah. Even Godzilla like getting his head stuck in Biolante's mouth full of teeth as it's like clamping down on him.
Yeah.
It just looks crazy. I loved it.
One of my favorite things is it seems like the whole special effects department has really upped their stuff in the last 5 years. But that last showdown between Godzilla and Biollante, the whole scene is set in just this pouring rain. And that's something I don't think we've seen in Godzilla movies before.
No.
So it really, it's like a huge polarizing contrast to any of his other battles.
Yeah. And even all the miniature work was amazing. All the special effects were great. Like, I remember early on in the movie, people are being shot at and there's like fire explosions in the background and you see them like being pushed back by the fire and being flipped over. And there wasn't a scene in this that I remember where I was like, that looks bad. And I remember in Return of Godzilla, I was thinking things didn't look too great quite a bit. But this just seems like everyone is doing such a stellar job. And being creative with it. Like, there's a scene where someone's in a building and you see Godzilla out the window, like, through gaps in the
This is the
blinds.
assassin. This is the assassin.
Yeah, an assassin's in a building and there's, like, curtain... Are they called blinds? The little...
Yeah, shutters.
The thin... Shutter blinds? Yeah. You see, like, Godzilla through that. And it must be, like, a rear projection or something. But it just looks great. They got really creative with how they showcased Godzilla in the movie.
Yeah, there's that scene later that I really loved where I think it might be like one of the few times where the special effects were a little lacking. But when Gondo is using his new like anti-nuclear bacteria and shooting it at a rocket launcher at Godzilla.
Oh, what a scene.
And he shoots at Godzilla, he's super far away, then he turns around to like pack up his stuff, and then Godzilla just starts to make his way towards him and like peers his head through the window. Super, super menacing.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised because I don't think we've seen many main characters die halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
in Godzilla films.
Yeah, Goro just got completely destroyed. He fell through the building as it was just getting decimated.
Mm.
And I was just thinking, I take back that all the special effects looked amazing because Erica's face at the end flying up into space when Biollante dies.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
It doesn't look great, but I was just so emotional at that point already. I didn't care. Just seeing Erica's face was enough for me, no matter how they did it.
Do you remember back to, I think it's Podzilla's favorite Godzilla adjacent movie of all time, Gorath?
With Meguma, the giant walrus kaiju?
Yep, that's the one. Your favorite
Yeah,
kaiju.
I love Meguma.
End of that movie, the moon is blown up without thought of the ramifications for the world. Everybody went on with their lives. In this movie, Biollante just ends up as a giant rose in space.
There's a huge rose just orbiting Earth.
Nobody comments on it. Nobody bats an eye. And I'm real curious if Toho did have the plan. Because Biollante, little spoiler alert, plays a role in the creation of Space Godzilla.
Yeah,
down
because
the road.
Godzilla's cells are now in space. There's a giant rose with Godzilla cells in it in space.
I don't know if they thought this far ahead, because was Toho really just going to leave a rose in space and not comment on it forever?
I don't know. It's pretty weird. The whole movie's pretty weird, though, and it somehow works, so...
I liked it.
Yeah, it's weird, but I dig it. I love just the rose imagery they use throughout the whole thing. There's a deleted scene, which is really unfortunate that they cut it, where I think at the end of the film, Godzilla's walking around and all of the land and all the hills in Japan are just covered in flowers after Biollante's been killed.
Yeah. So we watched like the DVD version of this. This is pre-Blu-ray.
Yeah.
On the little special effects screen where you can look at the subheadings, I did see that picture of Godzilla in the water, flowers surrounding the land. That was such a beautiful picture, and that was one of the ones I was most looking forward to seeing in the film.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see just the deleted scene on YouTube. It's pretty sad, like just some sad music while Godzilla's just looking at the flowers before heading into the water. But I love the imagery. I love that we have a giant kaiju that's just got a rose as a head. It's pretty cool.
It's so out there. It's so wacky.
And just the imagery and the cinematography and just the way this film looks. There is particular scenes like when Biolante's first form's just out in the water and you see it standing there with like almost smoky haze over the water and a blue backdrop in the sky. There's a scenes when you see like the volcano across the sea that Godzilla's coming out of. There are some really great shots in this, and again, everyone's just doing the best job they can. The whole crew's just done something really masterful with the film, I thought. Yeah,
and even like one of my favorite shots is again at the start with those American soldiers. With that music playing behind them, the cinematography as they're like running through the buildings is actually, I think, really cool.
Yeah,
compared to what we've seen previously in Godzilla movies.
So different. Should I go into trivia?
Yeah, let's hear some of it, dude.
So there is another deleted scene that you can see online, and it is a whole stop motion segment, because I think initially they were going to show Godzilla and Biolante's fight scenes in stop motion to just make it look a bit more kinetic, make it look a bit more brutal.
Okay.
And you can see footage of it online. It is pretty cool. Check it out. Godzilla versus Biollante. I think they're called stop motion test footage or something. But they filmed them, and it in the end wasn't how they decided to do it, and they decided to do it practically with suits instead. I think that was probably the right choice. But, I mean, we love the old school King Kong. I've loved when they've used stop motion in the past, so I thought it would have been interesting to see that in the film.
Yeah, it's a neat little piece of history.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this movie didn't get many people watching it when it came out.
Really? This seems like one of the movies that Toho really made a push with to push those bounds of the Godzilla franchise and do something quite new and refreshing.
Yeah, but, I mean, people didn't love it at the time, which is super strange. It made only $2 million more than what it cost to make, which is a bit, but not a whole lot when it comes to making box office returns on films.
And am I right in saying that the previous movie, Return of Godzilla, did really well?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Huh.
Yeah, and they made this afterwards, but it had hugely poor performance, and they ultimately axed a planned Mothra solo film that they were going to do directly after this one, just because of the bad reception. So we've missed out on a Heisei Era Mothra film that was going to be made like as early as 1990.
And now Mothra does show up in the Heisei Era.
Yeah, a couple movies down, Mothra does show up, and we do get a Mothra trilogy later on in the Heisei Era. But the performance of this just seems like it pushed everything back a bit, and it made them slow down and reconsider.
Yeah.
But the next movie only came out 2 years after this, so they still had faith in Godzilla, it seems.
That's cool. And it seems like that one, that's Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, is a bit more return to form to classic Godzilla. So it seems like a safe move on Toho's part.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. I think something that contributed to the bad reception was the music in this one. Apparently, people hate the music. Fans have responded super negatively to the rock version of the classic Godzilla film.
It might just be because we're Western people, but I found those scenes to be quite cool.
Yeah, I really loved them as well. I thought it was such a new spin on it. Very late 80s.
Very late 80s, yeah. I did find it quite jarring. There were scenes put throughout the movie. There's one scene after Godzilla's returning to his rampage. I think it's on Osaka. And just out of nowhere, some real modern music starts blaring. And then it cuts to a stadium where some people are playing at a concert, and then the music stops and they're like, "Oh, sorry guys, Godzilla's coming. Please evacuate the city."
Yeah, I was ready for that song. That song sounded good. Apparently, Akira Ifukube was asked to compose the music for it. He is our original Godzilla theme composer, did a lot of the music for Shiro Honda's films. He declined, and then Koichi Sugiyama ended up doing the music, and he's the composer of the popular video game series Dragon Quest.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of Dragon Quest before in my life.
You know what? I'll show you one picture that you would have seen of Dragon Quest. This is a slime from the Dragon Quest series.
Oh, the little blue raindrop dude with a smiley face. That's from Dragon Quest?
Yeah. Super, super popular franchise.
Is it from Nintendo?
Square Enix.
Oh, but it comes out of Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, interesting. So we got the same dude doing rock themes for Godzilla vs. Biollante, yeah.
I don't actually mind the music in this movie, and I think it's a cool move on Toho's part to try and bring in some new, fresh artists.
Yeah.
Especially from video game franchises. I think it's quite a cool take.
Yeah. Last thing that I have here was that Toho did a story contest for this movie, and the winning story would be turned into the next Godzilla film.
We have seen this happen before.
Toho's done a lot of story contests and character contests and naming contests.
Who was our favourite character that was butchered?
Jet Jaguar was initially meant to be something completely different. Manila's name came from a contest.
That's right.
But yeah, they put a call out for scripts, and the winner ended up being a dentist called Shinichiro Kobayashi.
So you're telling me the dentist wrote the plot about a movie that is surprisingly similar
to Little Shop of Horrors, with a main character that's a dentist? Coincidence? I don't know.
So he wrote this film.
Yeah, he wrote this film. He came up with the story for it, and then the director of this movie, Godzilla vs. Biollante, Kazuki Amori, ended up giving it a rewrite, actually scripting it properly, and making it into what we just watched.
That's really cool. Do you know if the dentist was happy with it?
The dentist ended up being quite happy with the result, and the final script actually kept a lot of the elements from the first story treatment. The big thing that they changed was that the original story had a second monster.
Ooh.
That second monster was going to be a giant rat and fish hybrid named Deutalius. Deutalius?
Deutalius.
Deutalius.
Are there drawings of concept for this?
People have done, I think, some fan art of Deutalius. Deutalius?
What do you mean? Why do you say it like that?
I don't know. Is that here you go, Micah? I'm better at you than saying words.
Yeah, to be Deutelius, yeah.
Deutelius. The monster that could have been. But that's all from me on the trivia front. Should we go into some final thoughts and some ratings? I can kick us off if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
I really, 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 really loved Godzilla vs. Biollante. I don't know why I didn't like it all that much when I was a kid. I think a lot of the themes just went a bit over my head, because this is such a creative take on the Godzilla story, the mythos. I really love just the return to form. This feels very much like Godzilla vs. Hedorah to me, which is like a story that sticks true to some of the like environmental messaging that the original movie had, but imbues it with a new director, some new creativity, and just some really wild takes. Wacky monsters, crazy story elements. I really love the direction they went with. I think the practical stuff looks so good. Biollante is amazing. I love, again, just all the green like blood and guts we get everywhere. I think the pacing of this story overall was really, really great. I love how there was such an ensemble cast of characters. Like, it doesn't really feel like there was a main character in this one that's shared around everyone quite equally. And I actually cared about them all, which, again, is something rare for these movies. And I think it did a really good job at connecting us to those characters, making the stakes very real, and then making the Godzilla action just as good and getting better and better as the film goes on. So, yeah, all in all, I'm going to give Biollante 5 G alerts out of 5 G alerts.
Wow.
I really like it. I really, really dig this film. And I'm excited to see if the Heisei Era keeps up this energy and creativity. Because I wasn't the hugest fan of the Return of Godzilla. And I really wasn't expecting this one to like outdo that. So it feels like the Heisei Era is just getting better and better. So let's see. But I'm going to give this one 5 out of 5. This is one of my favorite movies that we've covered.
Yeah, totally. You glossed over it there. Who was your favorite human character?
I think the main scientist. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. I don't remember anyone's names from this. But his connection to his daughter Erica was so cool. I love like how he has his ulterior motives throughout the film. He's asked to come on board and help out with the G-cells and make a weapon to stop Godzilla. And the most important thing to him is his daughter. And he feels like he can't do anything else except try and bring her back. And I love that story about him creating a monster through trying to get her back. And I mean, he dies at the end of the film, just as he sees Erica's face return to the heavens.
Yeah.
I think it was just a nice little story. I think it's done better than it was done in Terror of Mechagodzilla, even with that scientist and his robotic daughter.
I liked as well how none of the characters liked or glorified what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, it was a real bad thing that he was trying to science with those cells and the soul.
He was trying to science.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he flat out calls himself a monster at the end, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. I think if I had to choose, my favorites would be joint between Major Shokudoki. He was the head of the Super X2.
Oh, the captain. Yeah.
I loved him in this. He was great. But also Goro Gonda. I think he was just a real fun character.
Yeah.
He reminded me of... we just covered it. What's the name of Ana Lucia from Lost? The actor?
Michelle Rodriguez.
He's like a male gender-swapped Michelle Rodriguez. I don't know why, but that's like the one most apt description I've ever given anybody that fits so well.
Just like the types of characters she plays that are like laid back and kind of over it all, and
but then kind of a little wit about her. Yeah.
Ready for action.
I loved him. He had a Godzilla figure.
Yeah.
Mad respect.
Well, what did you think of the movie?
Yeah, I really love this. As a follow-up to the first movie of the Heisei Era, it's so cool to see the direction they've started taking this new iteration of Godzilla. How, they've brought in this whole world where Godzilla and what he's done is so integral to the story. where Biollante is in it, another man-made creature that just fits so well with a real cohesive story in the universe. I will say one of the parts that I didn't like is the return of the Super X.
You didn't like the Super X too?
It overstayed its welcome, especially coming off the heels of Return. It's like, hey, we've got it again. I don't think Godzilla vs. a little flying machine is the most compelling fight scene that we've seen.
Yeah, I think it's like natural though. Like I quite like that humans in the Heisei era have a means at actually fighting back.
Like, yeah, it makes sense in the world that they would have upped their skills and machinery and tried to make this.
You just find it boring.
As a viewer, I find it a little bit boring.
Yeah, fair enough.
But everything else is real cool. Like seeing that their whole section with the lightning segments in, how they're trying to shock Godzilla to raise his body temperature. And seeing his fights between Biollante, they're, I think, the coolest fights in a long, long time. And that last fight, probably the coolest fight I've seen so far, period. And it's given me a lot of hope for the fight scenes to come in the rest of Heisei. Shout out to Biollante, you big hunk of gangrenous plant-like mass. Your little compost beast. You. I'm probably going to give this a level 4G alert out of 5.
Yeah.
But that's a high 4. And I feel like I'm just leaving a lot of room for the future Heisei movies.
All right. Okay.
But I think this is a really, really good movie.
Yeah, I had a blast watching this. It's so crazy to just see how far the Godzilla movies have come. You go back and you watch something like, I don't know, Godzilla versus Ibra. Ibra Horror of the Deep, right?
Yeah.
Movie we both really enjoyed.
Great movie.
But just like technically how far they've come with how great the Heisei era movies look in comparison and how much they've upped all their practical stuff.
Yeah. Going from Gojira, the original movie, to mid-Showa era, to the last Showa films, to Return of Godzilla, and even from Return of Godzilla to Godzilla vs. Biollante, huge leaps and bounds every single step of the way.
Yeah, it's great, man. Oh, this was so good. We've actually got a little bit of time for my segment. Godzilla poster review. Let's have a look at this poster here for Godzilla vs. Biollante. Another classic Heisei poster.
And who's this one done by, Jasia?
It's done by the same artist, Noriyoshi Orai. He did all the Heisei era posters. This one looks so great. I love the greens. I love Biollante's rose form over top of Godzilla.
And Biollante in this poster just seems like the most imposing figure you have ever seen. I've currently got 3 posters in my room. I think 2 of them are Legend of Zelda, and one of them is like Back to the Future.
Back to the Future poster.
That I've just had sitting there for like 6 years.
Yeah, cool.
It's time to change them, and I've been looking at this one as one to...
Oh, true.
As one to swap one of them out with.
Oof, that'd be so cool.
It's so good.
Yeah, these posters are amazing. I might need to do the same, actually. I'm putting together a proper podcast studio upstairs in my place here. So I think over the next couple episodes, we're going to be moving up to there. We should have a bit less background noise. Our audio quality should go up a little bit. You won't be able to hear any cicadas in the background or wind blowing against the garage door. But we're going to need some posters for the room, I reckon.
I think we're going to need some Hedorah figures as well.
We need to do a lot of that. Last but not least, we got a whole lot of messages sent in by you guys, the listeners. And you can send us messages by emailing us at podzillapod@gmail.com or even just sending us an audio file with your thoughts. You can check the links in the show notes to figure out how to get those to us.
Yeah, it's always a blast to listen and hear from you on your thoughts about these movies. Who are we starting off with?
We got an email here from David. David says, "This movie has gone from being viewed as something of a box office failure to being considered one of the best, and by some, the best, of the entire Godzilla series. That's for good reason. It's a dark and original story that grips you and holds you until the end, and all the aspects of the movie are executed nearly perfectly. It contains some of the best visuals in the entire series, particularly Godzilla's emergence from the mountain, and also the destruction of Osaka, and a fantastic musical score that included Akira Ifukube's score and paved the way for the maestro's return. If the movie has grounds for critique, it is how it handles the new monster Biollante.
Ooh.
It's not, though, that there's anything wrong with Biollante herself. It's quite the opposite. She is such an amazing and well-done monster, particularly in her horrifying final form, but I can't help but feel we didn't see enough of her. What's more, it's not entirely clear whether she is a threat or not. The movie is something of a modern Frankenstein story, but it doesn't really delve into that as deeply as it could, leaving much about Biollante up for interpretation. But maybe that's one of the strengths of the movie, leaving us wanting more and pondering all of the implications of a monster that is long overdue for a second movie appearance.
Great thoughts, David. Yeah, that final fight is really confusing because it seems like all of the human characters are really pushing for Biollante to fight Godzilla. And they even say, like, we're going to have to face whichever the victor is here. But afterwards, they're, like, real proud of the Biollante with the soul of Erica for what she's done defeating him. And it kind of, like, slaps you out of the blue there. Like, oh, Godzilla is still bad here. Technically, we are rooting for Biollante. Which is a weird side of the fence to be on.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well, like, they say that Erica's spirit isn't there anymore halfway through the movie. But it seems like when Biollante returns at the end, it almost feels like she's a complete, like, good monster almost.
Yeah, it almost hints that, like,
Erica returned.
Erica returns to fight Godzilla.
Yeah.
As, like, a final punch against him.
Yeah.
Really interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite ambiguous, you're right, though, and I like that about it. I like the ambiguity.
You know what isn't ambiguous?
What?
The giant rose in the night sky.
Yeah, that's not at all. I just saw as well that there's a PS here from David. David continues. As this was a very dark and grim movie, and as its first draft originally included a rat monster named Dutalius, now would be the perfect time for Jace to lighten the mood for us all by singing the rat song.
Jace, you have to sing the rat song.
What is it?
I forgot we've talked about this. Jace, you never sung the rat song.
Is this the song I made for my rat?
Yeah. For Amelia, right?
Amelia, my rat. Named after Amy Pond from Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, guys.
Jace.
This was, I think there was an app on you could get for iPhones back in the day that was called like Songify, and you would just talk into the app and it would make a song from it. So I can't remember what it is, but you know what? I will try and find out, and I'll sing it in a Patreon episode. How about that?
Surely there's one phrase that you can remember from it.
I can't. I literally cannot remember one phrase. Can you remember a phrase?
No, I remember, like, over the past 5 years, there has been one phrase that I've mocked you for.
Okay.
And I can't remember it.
It's escaped us for now. Yeah. For another day. Continue quickly so we can change the subject. Here's a Letterboxd review from Big O.
Yeah, on Letterboxd, Big O says, I spent over $300 for a Biollante figure just so I can pair her with my $100 Godzilla 1989. This movie is also really good. 4 out of 5. I might need to fork out some money for a Biollante figure as well.
$300. That's like 600 New Zealand dollars, Micah. Are you ready for that?
It's not that much. It's like 450.
We also have another Letterboxd review from good friend Ron from the Real Latinos podcast. He jumped on for Pacific Rim a few episodes back.
Good friend of the pod.
Ron says, this is the image that I have of Godzilla from my childhood. Granted, I didn't actually see a Godzilla flick until the first American remake when I was a teenager, but still. It's like they took all the awesomely bad stuff I love from the Golan and Globus golden age of canon films and inserted Godzilla into the mix. If this sets the tone for the rest of the Heiseis, I'm very down. 4 out of 5. And that mention of the Golan and Globus stuff from canon films, I relate, Ron. They made a whole lot of, like, kind of bad sci-fi flicks back in the day. Sci-fi, fantasy, even maybe pretty much just action movies. One of which is called Ninja 3, The Domination.
Why do you seem so pumped up about this?
If you haven't seen Ninja 3, you haven't lived. It is like Hawk the Slayer in terms of camp. So check it out.
That's great.
We also have an email written in by another good friend of the show, Brandon. And Brandon embarked on a Godzilla journey quite recently. I'm sure he'll go into it, but it's been so cool to see him like experiencing all these movies for the first time. If you haven't read Brandon's review on the original Godzilla on Letterboxd, go and check it out.
That's legendary prose.
Yeah, it's so good. But Brandon says, I've spent the last month making my way through the Showa era and the Podzilla back catalogue. My initial plan was to get caught up before the pod started covering the Heisei era, and then watch the movies alongside the show. That plan changed when I watched the 1984 Return of Godzilla. Having never seen any of the Heisei era films, I was completely floored and had to continue watching them immediately. It felt like I had found my Godzilla. Little did I know the era, and Godzilla movies in general, would peak with the second entry, Godzilla vs. Biollante, in 1989. Everything I could want in a Godzilla movie. Godzilla is such a fun protagonist, like Batman, because they both have such a deep and diverse rogues gallery of foes. As much as I love the classic monsters we see again and again, Biollante has quickly become my favourite, so unique and distinct. The entire plot concerning the daughter's DNA being spliced with plants and Miki's psychic ability to interpret and explain the kaiju's thoughts and motivations made for such a compelling back half of the film. The family tragedy at the heart of this movie gave it a more melancholy and downbeat vibe that feels much more in line with the original film as opposed to some of the more wacky entries in the series, and I appreciated that. I enjoyed those first two Heisei movies so much that I finished the series over the next week or so, and as you'll see in my rankings, many of them are now among my favourite Godzilla movies. I'll be waiting to dive into the Millennium era until it comes up for the pod, so here are my top 10 favourite Godzilla movies of the Showa and Heisei eras, and the one other one that I've recently seen enough to review it. Okay, we got a list of Brandon's favourite films. Here we go.
These are Godzilla films, right?
Godzilla movies. Should we start from the bottom and go to the top?
Yeah.
Number 10, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster.
Good pick.
Number 9, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah from the Heisei era.
Ooh.
Number 8, Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Number 7, Godzilla vs. Mothra from the Heisei era.
Huh.
Number 6, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 from the Heisei era. Number 5, Godzilla vs. Destroyer from the Heisei era. Number 4, The Return of Godzilla from the Heisei era. And then number 3, Shin Godzilla. Number 2, The Original Godzilla. And number 1, Godzilla vs. Biollante.
That's great. I'm actually surprised Shin is up there. I didn't think that movie was received well.
Bro, where have you been looking? Everyone loves Shin Godzilla.
I'm looking forward to getting into it. That's a great little smorgasbord of movies right there.
And Brandon goes on, he says, as you can see, 6 Heisei films in the top 10. To say I'm excited for the rest of the season of Podzilla is a massive understatement. He says, I just wanted to say I'm so grateful to Jaisha and Micah for starting this amazing podcast. I grew up on the 78 cartoon on all the time. And I'm not going to get into my beef with the boys over their recent episode dumping all over it. It's another battle for another time. And I'd seen a few of the Showa movies here and there, but it has always been on my list to go and watch through all of these. And I don't know that I ever would have made time for it had I not had this pod and community by my side every step of the way. Cheers, guys. Thanks again for this amazing podcast and community. Your friend, Brandon.
Oh, cheers, Brandon. I'm so looking forward to the rest of this Heisei era.
Yeah, what an all-timer of an email. Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, we're super excited.
Just hearing how much everybody else has built it up. It's this great pedestal, this column in the distance.
And we're really glad that some of you guys have checked out Godzilla for pretty much the first time because of us. That's what we wanted to do initially, is just kind of show these movies to more people, because there are a lot of hidden gems in here. There are a lot of bad stuff too, but
like the animated series. Sorry, Brandon, I will not back down.
Quickly, let's move on, Micah. We've got a voice message. Who's it from?
And last but not least, we have a voice message from the one and only Waffles.
Yeah, Waffles Kaiju Reviews?
Waffles Kaiju
Should we
Reviews.
finish up on one of those? Let's go.
Hey, it's Waffles here with another Kaiju review, and this time we are reviewing, of course, the Giant Killer Plant movie, and of course, this movie, phenomenal. Directed by Frank Oz, you got music by Roger Corman, you got Levi Stubbs as the voice of the plant, you got Rick Moranis and Ali Green just having some beautiful on-screen chemistry together, we got, Steve Martin, Bill Murray, John Candy, Jim Belushi, Vincent Gardenia, like absolutely amazing. Like the songs by Tashina Arnold, Michelle Weeks, Tisha Campbell. Just like the music is just phenomenal. The props, the sets, the set pieces, everything. I'm gonna have those songs stuck in my head all week. Definitely, 5 watering cans out of 5 watering cans. Amazing, perfect film. Just can't continue raving about it. It's just amazing, so good. My apologies. It has come to my attention that the film that I just reviewed was not, as I thought, Godzilla versus Biollante, which I did think was weird because Godzilla never actually showed up in it. I'm sure Godzilla has a beautiful singing voice, though. And in fact, I did accidentally review Little Shop of Horrors, so that's my bad. Now for my review of Godzilla vs. Biollante, could use more music. In all honesty, I think a beautiful duet between Godzilla and Biollante would have just set the film off. And for that, I'm unfortunately only going to be able to give the film 5 flower petals out of 5. I know that's a bit of a low score for me, but I think just in comparison, the musical numbers just weren't up there, guys. I'm sorry, but yeah, that is my review of Godzilla vs. Biollante. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, by the end of this movie, Godzilla really was down on Skid Row, wasn't he?
When are we getting a Godzilla musical? I think that's genuinely a good idea, right? They've done every other genre.
It would be actually really amazing.
And I still think it's a crazy coincidence that a dentist came up with the story for this. Something's going on. Was it Steve Martin that came up with the story? And not Steve Martin. Not Steve Martin from the Americanizations. Proper Steve Martin. Thanks for listening, guys. This has been a ton of fun, and I really, really am excited for the next movie that we're going to be covering, which is 1991's Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, King Ghidorah's return to the franchise, his first appearance in this new era. Micah, what are we in for?
At the end of the century, the greatest battle has begun. The Futurians, time travelers from the 23rd century, arrive in Japan to warn them of the nation's destruction under Godzilla. They offer to help erase Godzilla from history by preventing his creation. With Godzilla seemingly gone, a new monster emerges as the Futurians' true intentions are revealed. Ooh, that's wacky. Removing Godzilla from the timeline.
Going back in time to destroy Godzilla in the past?
This is good, and this is a movie with one of my favorite iterations of kaiju, Mecha King Ghidorah in.
Yeah. I've never seen this movie before, and I'm really, really actually maybe I have. Have I seen it before?
You haven't seen it before, don't worry.
Yeah, I've never seen this movie before, and it has always intrigued me. And it's crazy that this is Ghidorah's first appearance in this new timeline, and already in the same movie there's going to be Mecha King Ghidorah.
Yeah. Not only that, it's the first returning kaiju we've seen.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's exciting.
So full of things new and old. I'm really curious if the Futurians are like the other iteration of the Zillions. Was it?
Yeah, true. Or the Kylax?
One of those alien species that randomly disappeared.
This sounds like a new alien species. We're going back to basics. This is good.
This is classic Godzilla right here.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks for that. As always, if you're not in our Discord, we would love to have you in there. We're thinking about doing more little like live events or live commentaries here and there, so jump in to be a part of those. We'd also really appreciate it if you just rate and review us on whatever podcast app you're listening to us on. Let us know your thoughts. Also give the show a bit more exposure.
Yeah, we also have our Patreon, very, very cheap. We just rated and reviewed the new Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie. Very fun time. But next month, for April, very fitting for the month of Fools, we are covering Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. Real out of left field, but this movie has a cameo from the animated
Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. And
Godzilla's daughter? What? Godzina? Have a watch, have a listen, and we'll see where that road leads.
Yeah, that's patreon.com/Podzilla to check that out. And we are planning on covering all of the King Kong movies in the near future, as well as doing some fun things near the end of the year. So stay tuned, join up to be in the loop for those. But other than that, we will see you in 2 weeks for Mecha King Ghidorah. We've said Ghidorah a lot this episode, and we got it right every single time. So I just want to say I'm proud of us.
Yeah, we've been doing really well, people.
We just fingers crossed for the next episode. I'm really frightened.
We're gonna slip up.
I'm really frightened. I don't know. Something's gonna go wrong. A Ghidorah's gonna sneak out.
It's good. We used to say J.
Is it?
This is good. We've rewired your brain.
Okay, flip. All right. I don't know what's right or wrong. All I know is Ghidorah.
Ghidorah.
Yeah. And nuclear.
No. Guys, we're gonna have to restart this whole thing again.
That's been Podzilla with your hosts, Jasha.
And Micah Drake. Follow along on our socials at PodzillAPod and jump into our Discord via the link in the show notes.
Huge thank you to Cassie Celine, who did our podcast art, and Degora9898, who did our episode thumbnail.
Let's go. And just a disclaimer that any musical sound effects used in this episode belong entirely to the Toho Company. See you guys next episode.